Hello, I'm Alexandra Sleator, Career Accelerator, and that means that I help ambitious, high-performing professionals just like you get their work-life right. And that could mean solving a problem that has been dogging you for a while, overcoming a challenge, getting out of a rut, or finally achieving a personally meaningful goal like getting the promotion you deserve, finding your next role, or simply acquiring a new skill which will be a stepping stone to something new in your career. The other day I got an email which saddened me greatly, and so I thought I would share it with you. And it said, "I'm in a phase of life where everything is just plain drudgery, heavy annoyance, and pain internally. We are all struggling massively." This was an email from a friend of mine who works in a bank. Does that speak to you too? You see, I'm sharing it because I thought that his words might resonate with many of you out there. Clearly, the environment is deteriorating, the deepening Eurozone crisis, the news headlines around the tumbling financial markets, the chaotic leadership, the economic data which is worsening, and of course all the articles in the press about the coming layoffs. All of this makes for very oppressing work conditions. So I wanted to let you know that my heart goes out to all of you who may feel quite vulnerable during these stressful times. And so this video and the next one are about coping in these times of challenge, in these times of uncertainty, and I'd like to help if I can, so that you can keep your spirits up as much as is possible during those challenging times. I'm sure that many of you watching would say that you work hard, maybe even very hard, evenings and weekends, long hours. But what my friend was talking about when he was mentioning drudgery is something quite different from working hard. Drudgery is when working hard becomes hard work, when all the fun goes out of your work life, when it's like putting yourself through some kind of grind day in, day out. And also what happens when you're in a place of drudgery is that something else goes on, because drudgery has as its best friend something called dejection. And when dejection is around, you feel a lowness of spirit and often even a sense of failure. And so it's really a dark place potentially when you meet drudgery and dejection. They're like two evil twins sitting on your shoulders, because one takes the fun out of your work life, and then the next one, dejection, swoops in to give you a sense of failure, a sense of pointlessness. And so together they sap your motivation, because you find yourself really feeling heavy and tired and weighed down and asking yourself, what's the point of all of this? So clearly, when you're feeling dejected, it's not going to be a happy place, but it's also an unhelpful place. For example, if you're someone who still has to complete some of your objectives for 2011, feeling dejected is going to get in the way of you being productive, being efficient, of you getting done quickly, and quality and timeliness as well may be in trouble there with dejection whispering in your ear. Or if you work in a bank and you're concerned about being caught up in one of the redundancy waves, you could feel a lot of anxiety, and dejection is going to make it worse. And that could really weigh you down at a time when it's rather important to show a certain capacity for resilience, that you are able to go about your daily work with sufficient enthusiasm. Because paradoxically, if people see you mopping around the office, there is a risk that this will in fact make it more likely that you could find your name on the dreaded redundancy list. So really, dejection is not a happy place to go to. Now, how to spot that drudgery and dejection have become part of your life? With drudgery, it's somewhat easier. I mean, it's that feeling of weight that you have when you cross the threshold of your company, or when you wake up in the morning and you think to yourself, why should I go into the office? So it's a dull ache that accompanies you throughout your day. So you should be able to spot that your work life has become a place of drudgery, quite easily. But dejection is more insidious. So I thought I would point you in two directions so that you can see for yourself whether dejection has suddenly come to perch on your shoulder. The first element around dejection is again a physical element, a physical symptom, which is that you're likely to feel indeed tired, that your energy is simply gone, that when you move you're somewhat slower than usual, you're not exactly yourself. And that feeling of tiredness is not just commonplace tiredness, it's really dejection sucking out your life force, your va-va-voom. So that's one thing to spot that you're probably in the grasp of dejection, is how you feel. The other way to spot that dejection may be part of your life is, do you ask yourself a lot of why questions? Because why questions which focus on things not going well are focusing us on a problem, they are focusing us on negativity, and they are simply depressing. So an example of that kind of a why question is, why did that rogue trader have to be at UBS? Or why did they put my name on the redundancy list? Those are questions that make you think negatively and will depress you. So if you feel that your workplace, has become a place of drudgery, if you feel tired and that your enthusiasm for life has been gone down, and that you have some unhelpful why questions in your mind, then it's time to fight back. You're in a place of drudgery and rejection, and these two need to be beaten back. So let's concentrate on dejection today, and in the next video I'll share more about beating drudgery. But with dejection, it's about asking yourself some what questions to replace these unhelpful why questions in your mind. So let me give you some examples. And it will sound odd, but I have used them time and again, and if you stick with it, I can absolutely guarantee you their efficacy. So an example of a what question is, what is good about what's happened or what is happening? Now, clearly, when things are not going well, it's difficult to ask yourself what is good. But when you do that, you're putting your mind into a place of wanting to look at your environment from the point of view of a glass half full rather than half empty. So it starts to shift your mind to look at more positive things. A little bit of a similar question, and one which worked particularly well for me, is what can I learn from what's going on? You see, I get very excited if I see that there's a learning opportunity in a situation, a lesson to be learned, which means, I will do things differently or, cope better. So for me, asking myself what I can learn from something was always very useful. So that's why I share it with you and see if that might be, somewhat inspirational for you too, in looking at your environment in a little bit of a different way. A third one, which I find also very powerful, is what stops me, or what stopped me. Sometimes when negative events come out of the blue, they completely derail us, and we go into this place of, wondering what's the point. So if we ask yourself what's stopping us, we try to look at things more dispassionately, more pragmatically, and we may come across obstacles and start to problem solve about how to overcome them. And that's a much more pragmatic, helpful place to be than, a place of dejection. It is also often the case that when we ask what stops us, we find out that it's just us. And that's wonderful, because if it's you getting in your way, then just move. Get out of your own way. So that's why I find this one quite powerful. A fourth one is, what can I do differently? If you've been doing something and you've not been successful and you feel dejected, just try something new. Put your thinking cap on, think out of the box, as they say, be a bit creative, take a risk, just do something else, give it a shot. After all, so much about life is trial and error. So don't hesitate to be iterative and try something new. A little bit similar to the what can I do differently question is the what else can I do? Which is again about opening your mind up to new opportunities, new alternatives, new options, and maybe enlisting the help of others. Looking at your resources that you haven't yet tapped into. And the last one that I want to share with you, which possibly again is going to sound odd, is how can I benefit from the process? Because when we are in a place of drudgery, as I said, it can feel like you're being yourself through a grind every day, and so there's a sense of a heavy process going on. And so a little bit like what can I learn? It's about trying to see that maybe there's something you can learn, something you can enjoy, something that will be beneficial to you from that difficult experience that you're in right now. So, as you can see, all of these questions, they're somewhat related to one to the other, and they're all about shifting your mindset away from the negativity of a why question to a more productive mindset with the various types of what questions. So, pick the ones that resonate with you, the ones that make more sense to you. I shared with you that I had two favorites among the 6 that I just quickly ran through. So see what works for you, and hopefully that will be helpful. So have a go, and as usual, I would love to hear how it went for you, whether anyone or a few of these what questions have been helpful in fighting by this feeling of blues that is not unexpected, given again the gloominess all around us. So thank you so much for watching. Again, I hope this helps, and I will see you very shortly for more on how to cope in these times of challenges and uncertainty, and this time we'll beat drudgery. Thank you for watching, take good care, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.